Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Sorry, I'm late a bit, right?
Good
I
morning,
think.
sir.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm late a little bit. So okay, let's get started. How many people are with us this morning? 19. Wow, that's good. That's good. Okay. Need to check something. Can I download this attendees? No. Okay, it's because they are requesting to. Okay, all right, it's okay. Welcome everybody. Today we are talking about chapter 5, and I have just update chapter 5 in D2L, I mean the PowerPoint. And because this morning and last night I was looking at some interesting documents, so I said I should share this with my students. And it is about a a guy that was very interesting long time ago. So today we're going to talk about organizational structure, chapter 5. And also, as usual, uh, we should have a um, sorry, I'm saving something that I don't want to share because it will, okay, it will be irrelevant. Okay, so this is it. The, the teaching plan, and just to make sure it's available, we can refer to this later. All right, so again, we'll lecture a little bit, and after that, I'm open to your question. So to answer your question, and I hope you can have good questions for me about the content, about understanding theories and concept, and about your project. So that's the idea. So I keep the lecture as short as possible, and I want to let you know that I'm recording the lecture so that it can be available for the future. Right. Okay. All right. So first of all, we're talking about the importance of having a strong, relevant organizational structure. And it seems maybe obvious today that we need to have a structure, means that um, things and people must be aware of what they should do. So, an organizational structure shows basically the responsibilities of the managers at different level, right? Down from the top to the first level of managers, right? Normally. There are pros and cons or if you want, strengths and weaknesses regarding any organizational structure. There are no ideal or perfect organizational structure. And the reason is that, well, reality is always more complex than any division of labor that we can devise. So that's why it's never perfect. And so it's always a compromise between different conflicting purposes, okay? I'm not sharing that with you right now. Okay, okay. That's something I should do. Wait a minute. I don't need this. I need that. So I'm going to share with you the PowerPoint, but you can download it from D2L if you want. and follow your own at your own pace. So yeah, collapsing the ribbon and make sure it's bigger, as big as possible, so it's easier to read. Okay, like this. Organizational structure. All right. So first of all, why we arrange tasks to that is for first reason is for efficiency, actually, right? The efficiency of the company. We arrange tasks, we group actually different tasks together, right? To create a job description. For example, if you are in the HR department, you may be responsible for, if your company is big enough, you have someone full time for the payroll, right? The payroll, issuing the payments every 2 weeks. Some provinces is every 2 weeks in Canada, and some countries is once a month. But in Canada, for example, in Ontario, if I remember well, it's payments is once a month. In BC, it's every 2 weeks. Like here in Quebec also is every 2 weeks. And I was in China. It was once a week, once per month, only once at the end of the month. In the Middle East, I was teaching in Dubai. The Middle East also was only once a month. Actually, they were paying somewhere like the 25th of the month, right? Okay, so if you are in the payroll department, then your job is all the tasks related to providing the accurate payment to employees, and so on. So arranging the tasks together, and maybe if you are the payroll, maybe team member, or maybe the chief, or you're on the assistant director responsible for the payroll. You are under the supervision of maybe the vice president, or maybe not, maybe the director of the some other department, some other level, and then you have depending vice president of resource management, human resources, maybe. Okay, so we have to cluster jobs together into departments and units, and that's how we make the company more efficient. With this goes the authority allocated to managers, right? So the organizational structure shows who is under the supervision of who, right? So, for example, on top you have the CEO. Below the CEO you have some maybe vice presidents, and then below the vice presidents you have the head of department, different departments, so on, right? So familiar with that, I'm sure, but you will see that it's not as simple as it looks at the first glance. Okay. And the problem, one of the major challenge, I would say, is to be flexible or formal, right? So a formal structure will be more rigid. In other words, authority is very strict and well defined. When in the flexible structure, the authority line is not so clear, who is responsible for what, and people will adapt to this some variable situation. Okay. It's remind me of my own experience. If I want to share with you some an anecdote story. I was in China, and I was the head of the department of the business department there. But I was responsible for the foreigners, right? All the expats teacher. We were about not big the department, but maybe 12 teachers, and I was selected the head of that department. And well, because we were in China, and we were far away from Vancouver, right? I was teaching for Capilano University, Vancouver, and then they were giving us more responsibilities because we were in China, right? Because we are far away, we need to deal with different issues that they don't normally deal with in Vancouver, right? Because you're in China. So whatever. For example, visa, right? Visa problems. The relationship with our partner in China, the partner in China, it was Harbin University. Harbin is, we see a third tier city in or northern China, only 9 million people, so it's not really important city. Well, no, it's not. I'm joking. It's not relatively important city, but not that important. It's not like Beijing or mega cities like Beijing or Shanghai, of course. And Harbin is not really well known overseas because so many big cities like that in China. Anyway, we were there in Harbin, and we had different problems. So I asked my boss, I mean the vice president of the international education in Vancouver, can you send me a job description, because I'm not sure what I have to do. When I was selected, I said, "Do you have a job description?" And she replied to me and said, "No, you will play by the year, right? Play by the year means you don't have any music to read. You just play by the year, right?" So she said, "You will play by the year," because they didn't have a job description for me. So the structure was, oh yeah, let's see, to be flexible, very flexible. So it creates flexibility, creates some anxiety sometimes, because you don't know what you have to do. Okay, so you have to be aware of that. Sometimes it's okay to be flexible, but it creates a different also difficulties. Okay, formal or flexible, key element, right? Okay. Um, so, yeah, organizational structure is a formal system of task and reporting relationships. Okay, so that's the idea of what, when you see this structure, you see some boxes, but these boxes, what they mean is that they represent uh, a relationship between different workers. Okay, basically the line of authority, and it's also, even though it doesn't say a lot of details about the task, but you by the title you can see the responsibilities of that person in charge of that department, right? So obviously, the director of marketing has different tasks than the director of finance, right? Obviously, but okay. Uh, but you see, it's an art. Um, the design of this organizational structure um, is a process that managers will have to make choices, right? Specific choices um, that will result in this structure. Okay, so you have to make, in other words, you have to make choices. You have to make, there are different alternatives. You have to make a choice. Okay, we'll see what choices we're talking about. We're just going to talk about it just now. You will know what you mean by these alternatives, okay, or choices, right? But before that, I would like to share with you something interesting It is going back 160 years ago. Okay, I'm just going to